for the conference championships next Sunday for a berth in the AFC title game. It's the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. Hi everyone, Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. Welcome to noisy Oakland. Without question, the fortunes of these two teams here today will rise and fall on the arms of their respective quarterbacks. Each has been a terrific story this season, and Chad Pennington's story has been nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, it has, Greg. Chad Pennington, the Jets have found their franchise quarterback. Herm Edwards changed quarterbacks, trying to get some electricity in his team, and Chad Pennington has delivered when given time. He's an accurate thrower, and his decision-making has been spectacular for a young quarterback. The reason they're in the playoffs today is because of Chad Pennington.
Now, once again this season, Oakland's Rich Gannon has put up spectacular numbers, and he spells nothing but trouble for opposing defenses.
Well, the league MVP, when you talk about Rich Gannon, he's so unassuming, you wouldn't know that he's the most valuable player in the National Football League, but such a good decision maker. He prides himself in the fact that no matter what you do on defense, he's going to look at it and get the best play possible for his offense to give him a chance at some success.
Well, the Tennessee Titans are in the AFC Championship game next Sunday. The question is, will they meet the New York Jets or the Oakland Raiders? The kickoff right after this. There was a threat of rain earlier today, but now they say it's going to be mostly cloudy here in Oakland today and slightly humid. Just a short while ago, the two teams began to do a little talking, as they've been doing all week long at midfield. That's the kind of atmosphere we have here today. Down on the sideline, Jets coach Herman Edwards is with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Coach, two teams on a very big roll. 8 out of 10 for you, 7 out of 8 for Oakland. How does it go your way today?
Well, I think we have to withstand the emotion of the crowd and their players early and then make it a game and play from there. I think it ought to be an exciting game.
All right, Coach, thank you. Greg?
Armin, thank you. There is Bill Callahan in his first season as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, and it has been an outstanding season for the Raiders and for the first-year coach as well. The Jets have won the toss. They will receive, and that means back deep. There you see Sebastian Janikowski. Back deep for the Jets is number 26, Chad Morton, who has returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns this season and had another call back.
Greg, the Raiders very concerned about the return game of the New York Jets, and rightly so.
Janikowski, the NFL's leader in touchbacks. This will not be one. From the 13-yard line is Lamont Jordan. To 30, to the 35-yard line, and pretty good field position for the New York Jets. Chad Pennington coming out to lead the Jet offense. And the offense begins up front. It's led by center Kevin Mawai, named to his 4th straight Pro Bowl this season. Here's Chad Pennington on today's keys.
The keys of the game are threefold. First, we must take the emotion out of the crowd in the first quarter. Second, we must establish the run. And third, we must really concentrate on time of possession to keep Oakland's offense off the field.
That crowd a big factor here in Oakland on first down. Straight ahead, Curtis Martin, and now to the outside. 45, midfield and out of bounds. Charles Woodson ran him out. The Oakland defense, the Raiders' defensive front includes the veteran Trace Armstrong, now up over 100 sacks in his 14-year career. The linebackers, Bill Romanowski, the veteran of the linebacking crew that includes rookie Napoleon Harris and Eric Barton. And the secondary gets its 2 injured cornerbacks onto the field. That means Charles Woodson seeing his first action since mid-December. And speaking of Woodson, safety Rod Woodson is down at the 44-yard line, as you saw Chuck Bresnahan, the defensive coordinator of the Raiders. Let's go back and take a look.
Rod Woodson, number 26. Oh, he gets picked off by the block. A wide receiver coming from the outside. Caught him. He did not see the receiver coming, and he takes a blow, and I'm not sure where he got hit or where it hurts.
Woodson named this season to his 11th Pro Bowl in his 15th year in the NFL.
Yeah, you know, you look at Rod Woodson, he's made so many big plays for this secondary of the Raiders, and that's what you want as a safety. Somebody that can read the quarterback and gamble somewhat and make those interceptions that can turn a game around for you.
Let's take another look.
Wayne Corbett is the wide receiver that came in and hit Rod Woodson. And boy, Greg, you said it in the opening already. They finally get Charles Woodson back.
Rose and walked off the field under his own power, and looks like we were concerned maybe about a shoulder fill, but he may have just had the wind knocked out of him. Martin and Richie Anderson in the backfield. First down, Jets at midfield. Derek Gibson in to replace Rod Woodson. Pennington to throw. Going to go deep down the sideline. Got tripped. Penalty marker flies. Lavernius Coles tripped by Charles Woodson on the far side of the field.
Well, it did not take long for the Jets to come after Charles Woodson. He's been out so many games. Had a hurt right leg.
Interference. Defense number 24. First down.
And the Jets, of course, they do like to throw to Lavernius Coles. Look at the top of your screen. And that was a nice job by Charles Woodson. He got tripped as he was falling. He knew he was in trouble. Then he knocked down Lavernius Coles.
The line of scrimmage, the 30-yard line. Rod Woodson back into the secondary for the Raiders. First down, Jets. Play fake. The throw is complete to the tight end, Anthony Beck, and Beck brought down at about the 27-yard line by big Sam Adams, moving off the defensive line, a pickup of 3.
Sam Adams looks like he's lost some weight, and I really do mean that. We watched him in practice. I watched him warm up today. He looks quicker, and he showed it on that play. But, Greg, real quick to go back to Woodson. We talked to Charles Woodson on Friday. I said, do you expect the Jets to come after you? He goes, if I was them, I sure would. So, even though he is a tremendous athlete, when you're not on that field every single week, you lose a little bit of that timing and the ability to make plays.
Corbett in motion, 2nd and 7, blitz. The flip out here, complete to Curtis Martin to the 25 and slides down at about the 24-yard line. And Woodson coming up to make the stop. A pickup of 3, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Now you look at this Jets offense, what they want to do today. Just talking to the players and coaches, Kevin Mawai said, we need to run right at the Oakland Raiders. There's Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, and keep the defense off balance. Throw it when they're expecting run, and then sometimes when they're expecting a pass, maybe right now you stick a run play in there.
3 wide receivers out there for the Jets on this 3rd and 4. Pennington throws far side of the field, complete. Corbett first down inside the 20. Terrence Shaw ran him out of bounds. That's a 7-yard pickup, good for a first down.
Well, so much has been made of Chad Pennington. He is the hot story in the NFL, and rightly so. Good example. Nice throw to the outside. Took his time. It's 3rd and short. Wayne Corbett has been awesome in his career in 3rd down situations. Gets enough separation, and Chad Pennington makes a good throw.
Pennington 3 out of 3, good for 13 yards throwing. First down at the Oakland 17. Curtis Martin inside the 15, or maybe to the 15-yard line. And Rod Coleman, Eric Barton with the stop. Well, the play clock ran down on Chad Pennington.
It used to be you would never see this happen, but more and more of late, I've noticed quarterbacks getting caught with this. And a lot of times it happens after first downs. They think they have more time than they do because they don't get the 40-second clock. Greg, they're getting a 25-second clock, and look at it now. 7 already. No time to look at the defense. You've got to rush your signals to get the play off.
Down to 1. The snap to give to Martin. Martin looking for running room. He reaches the 20.
Now you look at this Raiders defense. They have been so much better against the run this last half of the season. But what they want to do, there's Chuck Bresnahan, the defensive coordinator. They want to play a lot of man coverage. Chad Pennington has been very good at throwing the football. They want to get close to the receivers and make him throw it down the field more and try to be accurate against that type of coverage.
Looking at a 2nd and 13 here from the 20. Pennington with time, throws, incomplete and almost intercepted. Charles Woodson had designs on the pass intended for Lavernius Coles.
Oh, he had it. That was it. I watched Charles Woodson the whole play, and what I was going to say, it looks like he's limping, but he sits back, he stays away from the receiver. What a break on the football. And watch what happens. Chad Pennington throws it to the outside to protect the receiver, but Woodson readjusts and beats Lavernius Coles to the outside for the throw.
3rd and 13. Play clock down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got the snap off in time. Pennington going for the end zone. It is incomplete. Torrey James defending on Coles, and it'll be 4th down.
You know, I'm looking at the Jets offense. They are taking it so close down to 0 that you're not giving the offensive linemen enough time to make adjustments if the Raiders do a blitz or do something different up front.
38-yard field goal attempt by John Hall. On its way, long enough, and right down the middle. 10:58 to play in the first quarter. The Jets on the board first at 3-0. The Raiders are the team that has scored the most points in the first quarter this season, but it's the Jets who get on the board first here. They lead it by a score of 3-0.
Well, the Jets did just what Herman Edwards wanted. They withstood that initial burst by the Raiders. They get out, move the football, get 3 points, so it's an excellent start for the New York Jets.
That's number 83, Marcus Knight, set to receive the kick from John Hall. Going to bounce outside the 10, picked off by Knight at the 6. Going to go left. 20, 25, 30. Still on his feet and now out to close to the 35-yard line. 28-yard return. Jason Glenn with the tackle, and here comes Rich Gannon. 10 300-yard passing games this season. The offensive line, big and talented, featuring a pair of Pro Bowlers in Barrett Robbins and Lincoln Kennedy. They provide the protection for the league MVP. Rich Gannon, a record 418 completions this season. Leads the NFL's best passing attack. It includes the venerable Jerry Rice, who racked up more than 1,200 yards receiving this year. Charlie Garner, the lone back behind Gannon on first down from the Raider 35. Time to throw. Throwing, that is complete at the 40-yard line to Tim Brown. That's a 27-yard pickup.
Greg, the Oakland Raiders said, we're going to come out and show formations and plays that the New York Jets have not seen us run. Look at Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon looked off. He throws back to the right. The Jets are expecting, here's Tim Brown coming down the field. Gets single coverage, breaks back inside. Excellent design, excellent throw by Rich Gannon.
On first down, Gannon to throw again. Throws this time and batted down by number 29, Donnie Abraham. Nice play by Abraham. The Jets on defense will look for pressure on the quarterback, primarily from John Abraham, New York sack leader with 10 on the season. A strong linebacking core. Mo Lewis, his 12th year. Marvin Jones, his 10th. 5 for Sam Cowart. In the secondary, Donnie Abraham at cornerback is the Jets interception leader with 4. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Charlie Garner inside the 35 to the 33, and a late flag flying from Dick Hantak.
Well, let's see if that's illegal substitution. Nope, it's holding. That's worse. The Oakland Raiders, Greg, that time I counted, 8 players were faking like they were going to go out in the offensive huddle. They stopped halfway out.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
That's one of those massive offensive linemen, Mo Collins.
Well, Mo Collins, number 79, going against Josh Evans. They're in the middle of the screen. Not a great view if you're trying to decide if it was holding or not.
2nd and 20. Gannon, little flip to Garner. Garner inside a block, 40, 30, inside the 30 to the 28-yard line, and very close, what appears to be enough for a first down.
Well, that's what the Oakland Raiders do. They do so much on offense. They get you thinking now. They threw one down the field. Let's protect against that. They let the defenders come in. They throw the quick screen, and Charlie Garner is dynamic with the ball. Frank Middleton, 73. Did a lot of talking this week. So far, he's backing it up. Terrific block to the outside to get Charlie Garner in some open space.
First down, Oakland at the Jet 28. Back to the ground game, and Garner, and not a whole lot there. Phil, you mentioned the trash talking with Mr. Middleton, and we talked with Josh Evans yesterday, and Josh Evans kind of couldn't wait to see Frank Middleton on the other side of the line.
Well, he goes, I like it when people talk a little of that stuff. It just fires me up, and we'll settle it on the field. So that's what you want to hear, and that's what I hope happens today. I hope that neither team gets drawn into that talking or whatever and commits a penalty that's just going to, you know, really have a big factor in the outcome of the game. Just do the playing and be quiet.
On 2nd and 9, Cannon over the middle to number 84, Jerry Porter, and Porter fights for a first down to the 16.
But Greg, when you have two teams like this, they've played each other 4 times in the last 2 seasons. Last year in the playoffs, here again this year in the playoffs. When you do that, it just creates animosity between the players. You're going to build up a little hatred or some bad feelings against the opponent you're going against. Especially when 2 of those games are playoffs.
On first down, Garner up the middle inside the 15 to about the 12. This is the play before Frank Middleton and Josh Evans facing off.
Middleton, 73 on the outside. Oh, Josh Evans. Oh, and he got his hand in there. So you got to be careful. Anytime that hand goes to the helmet or the face mask, that's an easy one to throw a flag on.
There's a marker as Doug Jolly appeared to move prematurely.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Our referee, Dick Hantak, working his final NFL game today.
Well, the Raiders 3rd most in the NFL. 2nd most in yards. So it's pretty amazing statistics for a 11-5 football team. Usually when you make that many mistakes or have that kind of situations, they're hard to overcome. But that says something, too, about their talent, but they're pretty good.
And quick flip to Garner. Garner trying to turn the corner and is run out of bounds at about the 16-yard line.
You know, it's really interesting. We go when we talk to the Raiders and Bill Callahan. I says, well, okay, you had 400 and some yards against them last time. What are you going to do this time? Completely different. Whole new game plan, whole new formations, new plays. Everything's different. And I go, wow. He goes, Phil, that's what we are. There's Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator. He goes, we tinker no matter who it's against. We do it every game. Then you talk to the Jets about their defense. We're changing everything. We're going to show them different looks. And so it's a game of who can adjust the fastest to what the other team is trying to do.
3rd and 10. Gannon over the middle. Tim Brown inside the 10 to about the 6 and very close to a first down. Ray Mickens with the tackle.
This is going to be really close. I'm going to go right here and say it's going to be just a little short. Big decision for Bill Callahan here. Tim Brown, you got the quarterback's view. What's it look like? Nice catch over the middle. Good block to help him get the extra yard. Tim Brown's only caught about, I don't know, 500 or 600 of those balls over the middle.
Well, the Raiders say they want to go for it. Here comes Zach Crockett, John Ritchie. Bill Callahan has decided to go for it. Matt Stinchcomb, a 310-pounder, and Langston Walker, a 345-pounder.
Well, Greg, we've done enough Raider games. Opposing coaches have told us they think the Raiders are the best when it comes to these situations. Picking up a half a yard or a yard. They got a play that they almost always run. It's to the right side. The left guard's going to pull around and try to create a hole.
Zach Crockett is their short yardage man. 4th and inches. Movement on the far side. Let's see if Stinchcomb, number 74, moved earlier, if it was the defense.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, they called it on Mo Collins.
Well, you know what that does? That takes Bill Callahan's first big decision. Doesn't get to make it.
So here's Sebastian Janikowski. His postseason numbers: 26 of 33 in the field goal department on the season. This from 29 yards out. On its way, straight and true. 5:48 to play in the first quarter. Each team with a field goal on its opening drive. We're tied at 3.
You could say it.
Is there ever a bad one of you?
You can say I look good. It's all right.
Chad Morton. Bouncing ball. Morton picks it up at the 11. 20. And down at about the 25-yard line. Tim Johnson with the stop after a 14-yard return, and will step out for just a moment. Associates Coliseum in this AFC title game or playoff game, courtesy of the Saturn Lightship. We hope you're enjoying today's game from the best seat in the house aboard the Saturn Lightship. First down, Jets their own 25-yard line.
I don't know. My seat's pretty good right here.
That's not bad.
If you just get out of the way.
Penalty markers. This play will not count. Curtis Martin decked anyway.
You know, that's tough. I'll tell you what it is here in a second.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Let me guess that you're going to be hit hard on a play that doesn't even count.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
No, it's tough for the offense. The Jets got to be careful. The crowd noise and the Raiders are moving around a lot on defense. That's tough for an offensive lineman. So there's a couple factors working here can make you antsy and make you jump off sides.
Jets with a delay of game penalty and a false start here in the first quarter. 1st and 15 and 4 wide receivers. Martin. 4 to the 24-yard line. Travian Smith with a stop. It'll be 2nd and 11.
You know, Herman Edwards talked about it with Armin Katayan to start the game. When you're an NFL football player, especially in situations like this, and you have to sit home and miss a week of action, you are antsy. You can't wait to get out there and hit. And that's all the Raider players said to us. We can't wait to go out and just hit the New York Jets. And you got to be careful sometimes that you're not over anxious and give them an opportunity for a big play.
2nd and 11. Martin again, and maybe a yard or so to the 25-yard line. Let's check in downstairs with Armin.
Greg, you talk about Chad Pennington and all the emotion. Well, it's extended to the pregame ritual in the locker room where Chad told us yesterday they basically challenged each other before the game. Pennington saying to somebody, you know what, to Richie Anderson, you haven't taken a screen pass past 2 yards. He did last week. Anderson goes for 56. It's kind of like something out of the movie 8 Mile, Greg, but it's really got the Jets playing at a perfect pitch. Back to you.
I missed that one, Armin. 3rd and 10. Thank you, Armin. Straight drop for Pennington. Throwing over the middle. In the air, almost complete, but down at the 47-yard line. Wayne Corbett had turned Shaw all over him, and once again, that was really more of a floater by Pennington.
Well, he's trying to anticipate and throw into an open hole, Greg. But the difference this week compared to last week, it's defenders running with the receiver. So when you throw it up, they're going to react to it, and you're going to have more people getting to the football. Wayne Corbett on the outside. He comes in. Terrence Shaw. Oh, boy. Woodson coming in for the hit.
And once again, player still down on the field. It appears to be Terrence Shaw.
I think it's just Chad Pennington hung the football in the air, and the Raider players all converged and ran into each other.
Yeah, it appeared from that sideline shot that collision didn't do Wayne Corbett a whole lot of favors either.
Now, you know, Greg, if that was what you call a zone defense, where everybody was just looking and staying in position, Wayne Corbett would have pulled that down for a completion. Last week it would have been. This week it's not.
Darian Gordon deep for the kick from Matt Turk. Sky high punt. Fair catch called for and made at the 36-yard line. 4:15 to play. First quarter. The Jets 3, the Raiders 3.
Is that right? You know, you're the man that knows all the lingo.
Yeah. That would be me.
Yeah.
First down from the Oakland 37-yard line. Throws it back. Gannon pulls it down, now throws to the sideline to Jerry Rice, and that's complete. Rice looking for running room, diving close to midfield. The handoff was to Tyrone Wheatley, who shoveled it back to Gannon.
Well, watch what happens. The New York Jets, they defend this play perfectly, but Rich Gannon, so much experience. He knows he has extra time, and he just deals one from down low. Jerry Rice actually was covered all the way, and it took so long, he opened up on the backside of the defense.
From midfield. Gannon on the move, and now wrapped up and dropped back at the 42 or 43-yard line by John Abraham.
This almost looked like what happened to Rich Gannon when they played in Monday Night Football. He goes back. The coverage is really good on all the short routes. He misjudges the talent of people like John Abraham, and they get to him quicker than he thinks they can. He even admitted it to us. And Herm Edwards, Greg, he just said for the Jets to have a big day defensively, he goes 94. That's the guy.
Loss of 7 on the play at 2nd and 17. Garner. Nowhere to go. Marvin Jones with the stop.
I didn't mean to interrupt you the time before, but it's when you look at this Jet defense, the difference, in my opinion, and even when you talk to their coaches, at the beginning of the year, there's Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator. They thought their defensive line was going to be something special. It wasn't. It took it a while. Guys like Josh Evans, he kind of got in shape. He got better. John Abraham got healthy, and that has been the biggest difference in the last 8 to 10 games.
3rd and 18. Gannon throws far side of the field and overthrows everybody out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. You're right, Phil. This season has been almost a carbon copy for the Jet defense of a year ago because it started slowly, gave up a lot of yardage, and somewhere along the way, Herman Edwards and Ted Cottrell found the key, tweaked a few things, and they were red hot by season's end.
Well, Herman Edwards said this. You know, I'm watching Rich Gannon on the sideline. He's holding his hand, which always is a big concern for a quarterback. He said, we simplified. We made it simpler. Let the players play, and that's when they got better.
Santana Moss is deep. This one kicked to the far side and out of bounds, and this one is going to be lined up at right about the Jet 24-yard line. Well, see why CBS Monday is America.
Now the trainers were looking at his right elbow and his hand, and the fact that he's not going to warm up tells me he's okay.
Well, the fans in the black hole begin to make some noise, and the rest of the stadium follows suit as Chad Pennington brings his offense to the line. Line of scrimmage is now the 20-yard line. First down. And we get a marker flying.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Tight end Anthony Beck draws the Jets' 2nd false start penalty of the day.
Yeah, a lot of nerves being shown, well, by both teams. That's a lot of false starts so far in a game that's still in the first quarter.
2:17 to play in the first quarter. From the 15-yard line to give straight ahead. Curtis Martin almost to the 20-yard line, just a little bit short.
You know, it's really interesting. Boy, he's still working that arm. It's it, Greg. I find it interesting, though, when you watch the New York Jets talking to Herman Edwards yesterday, and you know, I had a chance to talk to him. I said, we were talking about Chad Pennington. He looked at me, and goes, "I got me a quarterback, you know." And I go, "Yeah." A lot of head coaches in this league don't know what it's like to have that guy. But Herman Edwards, he has found a young one that's going to be around for a long time.
Pennington still with the football. Rolling left, throws, sideline, incomplete, overthrows Lavernius Coles, the intended receiver. Number 99, Delores Grant, was putting the pressure on Pennington, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, the one thing I'm noticing so far from both teams, there's a lot of good athletes on defense. It's different. Harder to execute plays. Even when you're full of defense, they can still react and get back and stop you from getting your play done.
Number 22, Terrence Shaw, shaken up earlier, is back onto the field as a 5th defensive back. 3rd and 10. Pennington lost the football. Still loose. Looked like the Raiders fell on it at the 25. Now it rolls forward. Who's got it? Raiders. Travian Smith.
The Raiders so far have disrupted the rhythm of Chad Pennington. Look, he looks down the field. Nobody's open, so he tries to move, and Travian Smith knocks it out, then recovers the fumble.
How about the play Travian Smith makes right here? Tips the ball away, then shoves Pennington away from the possibility of recovering the football. Then Smith comes back and makes the recovery. Oakland at the Jet 27. Jets with their first turnover in the last 4 games. Charlie Garner, right side, inside the 25 to the 22. Talking with Lincoln Kennedy on Friday, and they ran to his side of the line. He said, yeah, we could take a few more shots running the football, and you usually think in terms of throwing downfield with shots, but when a team throws the ball almost all the time, then your shots are running on the ground.
Well, that's right. He said, last time we played the Jets, we were in our passing groove. He goes, you know, now we're in our running groove. So I just kind of took it that they were going to be a little more patient when it comes to running the football today.
2nd and 5. Garner lost the ball. Ball's on the ground. Raiders looked like they covered it on the far side of the field. Phil, that old bugaboo about trying to pick up a bouncing football may have cost the Jets there.
And you know what you're supposed to do, Greg. Big guys fall on it. John Abraham, the handoff is not clean. He tries to pick it up. He might score if he picks it up, but it's so difficult to be running and to pick up an object that doesn't bounce true.
And you know, it's going to kill Josh Evans that Frank Middleton is the man who recovered the fumble for the Raiders.
Big guys fall on it. Small guys pick it up.
It's been a long time since Charlie Garner lost the handle on the football. We get a timeout with 9 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, the football's a little tough to hold on to so far today.
It's a little muggy. We were told it could rain earlier, but may or may not be in the forecast as the day moves on.
Well, I think you can see, Greg, the intensity that the teams are using. They're coming out here. But more importantly, what I'm saying, just a lot of good players. It's just going to be difficult, it looks like, to execute 6 or 7 plays in a row to give yourself a chance to score.
Bay Area football on a Sunday afternoon. The winner of this game meets the Tennessee Titans next week. If the Raiders win, Tennessee comes to Oakland. If the Jets win, the Jets travel to Nashville. Third and 6. Charlie Garner flanked as a wide receiver to the top of your screen. Ritchie in motion to the bottom. Gannon rolling with time, throws, sideline. Ritchie inside the 10. It'll be first and goal when the second quarter begins. 14-yard pickup for the Raiders as time winds down in the first quarter. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score, the Jets 3, the Raiders 3. We'll come back to Oakland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Completion by Rich Gannon. There's John Ritchie. He's going to go out to the sideline. You have 5 receivers going down the field, and if you don't get to the quarterback quickly, you let Rich Gannon get a second look at your defense, and when he gets that second look, somebody's going to be open, and he's going to find him.
First and goal for the Raiders, just inside the 10-yard line. Garner. And Garner wrapped up by Marvin Jones, number 55. It'll be second and goal. He may have reached about the 7.5-yard line.
Well, Marvin Jones, he's really had an outstanding second half of the season. I think that's what you got to say about most of the Jet defenders, because early they were struggling, but the middle linebacker, when he makes a lot of tackles, that tells you the up front people are doing a good job of protecting him.
Once again, Garner and Ritchie behind Gannon. Garner again to the 5, to the 3, plowing forward, close to the goal line. You see 32 on the sideline, Zach Crockett. This is his part of the field.
Well, you said the word plowing, and that really described it, I thought, very well, Greg. They were just root hogging the Jet defensive players and pushing them back. And let's just take a look at it. Frank Middleton gets the block. John Ritchie, excellent block on Marvin Jones. Mo Lewis, nobody hitting him, but they drive him towards the goal line.
The sideline thought he got there, but they didn't. Jerry Porter cheerleading on the sideline. Ritchie and Crockett in the backfield. Crockett straight ahead to the end zone. Touchdown.
Greg, that's the play we were talking about. They run it so much. There's so many reasons why it works so well. They just have such big offensive linemen. Wow. Frank Middleton had a block that was phenomenal. John Ritchie leads them through the hole, and they get the easy touchdown.
Janikowski for the point after. Perfect placement, perfect kick. 13:44 to play in the first half. Zach Crockett's touchdown has the Raiders up 10-3. Crockett now with 9 touchdowns and 41 carries this season. I was just saying to you, he's got quite the little niche on this team, doesn't he?
You know, Greg, you're right. A little niche. They got a lot of players that have a niche. The Raiders are not like most NFL teams. They got depth.
Bouncing ball. Lamont Jordan at the 15. Lost it, fell on it at the 20. And a little extracurricular activity at about the 22 or 23-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown run by Crockett.
Well, I want you to look at it just one more time, because 340 pounds, Frank Middleton, watch the block he gets, just drives Marvin Jones across the formation, doesn't allow Sam Coward to get enough momentum to come up in the hole and stop the run. And you said it, a little niche. Zach Crockett does that. John Ritchie's a blocker. Charlie Garner does it all. Tyrone Wheatley whams it up in there for him for a couple yards. Successful NFL teams define the roles for their players.
Now the Jets, who grabbed the early momentum in this game with the first score, a field goal, find themselves down 10-3. Pennington, quick pass outside. That's complete to Richie Anderson. And Anderson, looking for first down yardage, looks to be just about there, maybe a little bit short. 9-yard pickup.
Well, Chad Pennington has been under some pressure so far in this game. Bill Romanowski hits him in rhythm. That's not late, but it makes the quarterback thinking, wow, I'm under pressure. I got to make fast decisions and get rid of the football.
You know, you talk about people who are all hyped up for games. Bill Romanowski was quietly excited about this game on Friday. 2nd and 1. Nowhere to go for Curtis Martin. Napoleon Harris, the rookie middle linebacker, with the stop.
You know, the Raiders, when you look at this football team, We talked about everybody has a role, but just their physical presence. They have big offensive linemen, fast, big defensive linemen, and they have big linebackers who can do it all. Napoleon Harris fits that mold. He's big, he's fast, and he's learning how to play.
Boy, you saw Romo there. Now, one thing Bill Romanowski told us on Friday, his team is tired of hearing about the New York Jets. Play clock to 2, to 1, to 0, and they didn't get it off in time. Second time that's happened to the Jet offense today.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
You know, Greg, I'm going to go back to what you said. They're tired of hearing about the Jets. And usually I hear that talk and I go, oh, Christ, I hear this every week from everybody. Everybody's disrespected. But just watching TV, and I read, you know, you and I read all the articles, it has really been more Jets than Raiders. And the Raiders, they're saying, hey, we have home field. We have the MVP of the league. Why aren't more people talking about us? Well, go out and play well, and they will.
3rd and 8. Pennington flips. Martin cuts it back to the 30. Reaching for a first down, and he appears to have it. Eric Barton and Bill Romanowski converge for the tackle, but a bit too late to prevent the first down.
You know, the Jets are so good at this. What they do, they really take the pressure off of Chad Pennington whenever they can. Play action passes on first down. A known passing situation, what do? They throw a screen. The Raiders, too aggressive, chasing the quarterback. Nobody there to protect against the screen.
Lamont Jordan into the Jet backfield. First down, New York. Jordan to number 83, Santana Moss. 35, 40, first down and more. Midfield, spinning, still on his feet. Inside the 40-yard line, we have a couple of penalty markers on the far side of the field. It's going to come back.
I'm not going to interrupt Dick Hantak today. It's his last game. I'll let him.
Holding. Offense. Number 87. 10-yard penalty. First down.
5th Jets penalty of the day.
Holding down the field. It's still going to be a long game by the New York Jets. Lavernius Coles. What? Oh, well, you can see the jersey being pulled up on Rod Woodson's back. Easy call for the officials to make.
Couple of false starts, couple of delays of game. And they lost the fumble. Jordan still in the lineup. Far side of the field. That's complete to Chris Baker, the rookie tight end.
What a catch. Well, I tell you, Chad Pennington, he can throw it out there with some touch too. I mean, he lays it out there. And what it does, when you throw the football the way he does, it does allow receivers the ability to adjust to it. And of course, it makes it a very easy football to catch.
From the 38. Pennington throws, tip, almost intercepted by Barton. Trebek got a hand on it, and Eric Barton feels like kicking himself. 2nd and 10. This Jet offense under Chad Pennington has been something, as you take another look, has been something that's been the topic of much discussion. And, you know, early in the season, offensive coordinator Paul Hackett took a little heat.
Yeah, he did, Greg, but Paul Hackett has been hot the last half of the season. So much of a team's offensive success is the offensive coordinator one step ahead of the defense, and Paul Hackett has been that the last 10 games.
2nd and 10. Pennington lobs it over the middle. Quebec inside 10 and lost the football. Charles Woodson with the hit.
Well, Wayne Quebec's going to limp off the field, but there's a time when you got to throw the football and put a little more on it. And watch Wayne Quebec as he goes down the field. He is wide open, but Chad Pennington puts a little too much air into it and allows Charles Woodson to come off his guy and make the hit inside.
It's not the first time today in this first half that he's done that. Corbett 10-2 on the sideline. 3rd and 10. Martin to about the 30-yard line. He'll be about 2 or 3 yards short of a first down.
Well, it's interesting on 3rd downs. 3rd and long, they throw a screen. 3rd and long again, they run a draw. And what it does, it gives the Jets maybe a chance. Well, they will try the long field goal.
Looks like John Hall will line this one up from about 48 or 49 yards. Hall's longest this season is 46. On its way. Wide right. 9:45 to play in the first half. It's still the Raiders 10-3. Hey, remember, coming up on the Nextel halftime report, Jim Dion, Dan Boomer at first half analysis. Raiders with the ball at their own 39-yard line. Oakland has had terrific field position to start their drive. Charlie Garner trying the right side. Across the 40 to about the 41 or 42. Sean Ellis and Larry Webster converge after a 3-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 7.
Greg, there's really a lot of interesting matchups when you look at this game today. So many times, you know, for Rich Gannon, for Chad Pennington to be so successful, which they have been this year, you know, the big guys got to do a good job. And so all the small guys, defensive backs, receivers, quarterbacks, their jobs depend on how the big guys are going up front, and both sides are very talented.
Garner looking for a block. That play is cut short. John Abraham and Sam Cowart with help from Damian Robinson.
Just nowhere to go. The Jets so good at the point of attack that it takes too long for the play to develop. And John Abraham, he's already put pressure on the quarterback, and look at him in the run game. It's interesting as we watch him get matched up with some of these offensive linemen for the Raiders. He had some interesting things to say about both tackles.
3rd and 7.
Different look, 3-down linemen for the New York Jets.
Play clock to 2 to 1, and Gannon calls timeout. So Oakland uses its 2nd timeout. They have 1 remaining here in the first half. 8:19 to play. Said he wanted to get the Raiders in 3rd and longs today. They've done that. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 18. Gannon with a 3rd and 7 here. With time, throws far side. Ritchie dropped it at the 45.
Well, excellent coverage down the field again by the New York Jets. You go back to the last play where Rich Gannon called the timeout. The Jets came out in a totally different look. And when that happens, usually they're going to spring something on you, something you're not ready for. So Rich Gannon called the timeout. The Jets come out again on defense and give him a whole different defense from the time before, and it worked for him.
Santana Moss is deep for the kick from Leclerc. Oh, what a kick. Very clear that the Raiders would rather not kick the football to Santana Moss today. It's the 2nd time they've kicked out of bounds.
Well, they're kicking out of bounds with the punter, and Sebastian Janikowski, when they kick off, is kicking it on the ground away from Santana Moss. So,
and you know what? We harken back to our conversation with Bill Callahan to where do you say the importance begins in this game? And the first thing he said was special teams.
Oh, he was worried about it. The Jets' return teams are the best in the National Football League, so you should be concerned.
First down for the Jets at their own 19. Moss and Coles are the wide receivers. They give straight ahead to Richie Anderson, and Anderson for a couple. Let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, an update on Wayne Corbett, who limped off last series, is not out on the field at the moment. He's got a lower right leg injury. It's in the shin area. It actually hurt it earlier in the game. His return is described as probable, but I say he is definitely in pain on the sidelines, Greg.
As we take a look at Corbett on the sideline. Thank you, Armin.
Looks like he's got a little pad on his right shin or on the outside of it.
2-yard pickup on that last play, 2nd and 8. Pennington, play fake, running out of time. Almost tripped up and now goes down at about the 25-yard line. Armin was talking about Wayne Corbett and his injuries. He's had a tough day already today.
Taking some big hits down the field, Wayne Corbett is. You throw it high in the middle of this field against this defense, you're going to take a big hit.
We are under 7 minutes to play for the first half, and Pennington and the Jets looking at a 3rd and 4. Throwing out here, Richie Anderson, complete, 30, and across the 35-yard line, out of bounds. It's a first down for Jets. 11-yard gain on the play. I mentioned to you earlier, Phil, there's no question that the Pennington that we've seen in recent weeks has been very much in rhythm and in sync, and the Raiders haven't given him that chance today.
Well, the Raiders are just a better defense than what they're used to seeing, Greg. It's like a baseball player. When you're going up against the best pitcher in baseball, your batting average is going to go down. So the same would be said for quarterbacks. When you play an outstanding defense, you're just not going to post the same numbers as you usually do.
Curtis Martin waits for a block up to the 40-yard line. And we get a little bit more excitement as the ball came loose late. 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6.
As we watch here, the ball was blown down.
And we have a player down, Piers, on the near side of the field, and that's Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson, who has been plagued by injury
Player
all
was
season
ruled
long.
down by contact. 2nd down.
And Woodson is up.
He's up. You know, Charles Woodson, you said it, Greg. He has had some injuries. Watch him, number 24. Goes in to make the hit. Can't tell, but boy, just again, that football came flying out of there.
Well, he missed 5 games with a cracked humerus bone in his shoulder. He's been bothered with a turf toe and the leg problem. Kept him inactive the last couple of weeks. Has a plate inserted there, and we said, "Are you ready to go?" And he said, "Oh yeah," and then he stuck his leg out there and it was swollen.
Yes, that's right. Charles Woodson has to come out for one play.
And the Raiders call a timeout.
Well,
so they call a timeout with 5:53 to play. They burn their 3rd and final timeout here in the first half. And these overhead shots of today's playoff game provided by the Saturn Light Ship. Our team hopes you're enjoying this unique look from high above Oakland, California. 5:53 to play in the first half. Charles Woodson back out onto the field.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of surprised the Jets haven't tried him out maybe one more time deep here early in the game. You know, as the game goes along, of course, he's going to get into the flow and get used to covering wide receivers down the field.
He said running straight has been okay, but you want to see how it is coming out of a break, and so far we've seen him come out of a break very well a couple of times. Curtis Martin, Gerald Soule in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Quick pass out into the flat. Lavernius Coles, and Coles wrapped up and not going to get back to the 40-yard line.
You know, a lot of times you judge a team, how they're taught, how they're coached, and are they ready to play when you see plays like that. When you see a short throw to the outside, who on your defense is trying to make the play? That time, John Perella, an inside defensive lineman, was the first guy out there trying to make the tackle.
Loss of 1 makes it 3rd and 7. Pennington, complete, Santana Moss, midfield into Oakland territory, first down.
Well, that's the kind of matchup you'd like to get. You get Rod Woodson way outside, one-on-one with Santana Moss. And we even talked to Rod Woodson about these receivers. He goes, I'd prefer the big, tall, straight-ahead, fast guys. The Jets, they have smaller, quick receivers. They make it tough on big defensive backs.
.4:45 to play. Straight ahead is Curtis Martin. And a Raider helmet rolls on the turf. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6.
You know what, Greg, to go back, Charles Woodson went out of the game after that last completion. So, you know, he probably needs a break. Conditioning is going to be a factor. And I'm just keep watching to see if that injured leg just hangs in there for him.
Clarence Love, number 38, is in the secondary. 2nd and 6. As we move up toward the 4-minute mark. Martin with room off the left side, inside the 35-yard line to the 33, and another Jet first down.
Well, you can see why Kevin Mawai was talking about we need just to run right at the Raiders. Dave Zott, 79, Richie Anderson, number 20, and Kevin Mawai all get excellent blocks, allow Curtis Martin to get good yardage.
Kevin Mawai said, actually, I think we need to run right at him and stick to it. What a difference from the last time these two teams met. Couple of ball fakes. Pennington gets rid of it, looking at the end zone. Batted down. Torrey James prevented the touchdown.
What a job by Torrey James, just outrunning the football, but what a good job of play action fakes by Chad Pennington. I couldn't even find the football. Look to the outside. He sails it out, gets the angle, and Torrey James truly just outruns it while it's in the air to knock it down.
2nd and 10 from the 33. Pennington to Moss. Inside the 25 to the 24, and it looks to be about a yard shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
I'll tell you what now, this Jet offensive line, we talked about it, Greg. Chad Pennington just getting a lot of accolades thrown his way, but always remember, no matter how good you are at quarterback, you are not going to have success if the guys around you don't afford you those opportunities. And the offensive line of the Jets, it's veteran, it's tough, and they can protect the passer.
3rd and 1. Play fake. Pennington complete to Baker. And Baker inside the 20 to about the 17 and a first down.
You know, I really get a kick out of watching Pennington in the play fakes. It's like old school football. You know, like you used to see in a wing tee. Like fake it, hide it, who's got it, and we talked to Rich Gannon. He says, look, if he's learning from Paul Hackett, he's doing every little conceivable thing there is to give himself a chance to have success on the field. And you can see it when you watch Pennington go to work.
Coming up on the 2-minute warning right after this play. Pennington over the middle to the 11-yard line. Anthony Beck. And the whistle blows to mark 2 minutes to play. 2 minutes to play in the first half. The Jets trail by 7, but they're threatening. On 2nd and 4, Wayne Corbett back into the Jet lineup. Curtis Martin just inside the 10-yard line before Eric Barton wraps him up.
Greg, we were talking about it during the break. The Jets they've got a nice rhythm going in offense. Good play calling. Eric Barton, number 50, just an excellent job of reading the play, avoiding the block, and making the tackle.
2-yard pickup, and it's 3rd and 2. A minute and a half to play here in the first half.
Crowd noise is just not that big right now.
Play clock is down to 4 to 3 2. Pennington throwing on the slant. Coles still on his feet inside the 5. First and goal. And on this drive, timeout now is called by the Jets. Chad Pennington, 7 out of 8 throwing to 5 different receivers.
Yeah, picking up some good third downs. Excellent job of seeing who is open.
Now Chad Pennington is Herm Edwards' go-to guy. Handed him the ball and said, it's your team. Run with it. Don't look over your shoulder. Double tight end. First and goal. Lamont Jordan breaks it to the outside. Race to the corner of the end zone. He is down at about the 1. Derek Gibson ran him down. Clock continues to move, coming up on 50 seconds to play.
You're the defense. You see Lamont Jordan come in. You go, well, here he comes inside. He's big, he's strong, but you don't realize how fast he is, and he's able to go outside if he has to.
Second and goal from the 1. Jumbo Elliott onto the field as an eligible receiver for the Jets. Pennington rolling, throws, Gerald Sowell, easy touchdown.
Pass complete to Gerald Sowell. Touchdown, Jets.
Well, you're talking about keeping a team off balance. That
Hall for the extra point. And with 22 seconds to play in the first half, the Jets have pulled even with the Raiders at 10.
You know,
just a reminder, coming up, the next Tell halftime report, Jim Dion Dan. Sounds like he has the confidence of a veteran. Marcus Knight from the 5. 20 and out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. 19 seconds on the clock. And remember, the Raiders are out of timeouts.
Greg, it's like we said earlier, and you can see it in Herm Edwards' eyes when he talks about his quarterback. He knows he's got the guy. There's no more searching. It's over. And if you watch them a lot, they talk a lot. And I watched Chad Pennington. He goes over to the sideline in between series. And I don't think Herm Edwards is going, read this, read that. He's like, settle down, be cool, do this. You know, just trying to control his temperament. And he's just done an excellent job.
Chad Pennington's been impressive all season. Rich Gannon told us what's impressed him about Pennington has been the fact that he's been able to maintain his consistency since the time he took over the helm.
Hard for a young quarterback to do.
First and 10. Gannon going to throw. Far side of the field. Right through the hands of Marcus Knight, his intended receiver. 14 seconds to play.
I'm a little surprised the Raiders taking this chance. There's just so little time, and you have no timeouts left. But maybe you do it just so your offense can get a chance to execute a few plays to get themselves in rhythm for the second half.
Well, the Jets this quarter own the football.
I knew they did. I didn't know it was that much. That was incredible.
This is Charlie Garner. And Garner is wrapped up by Mo Lewis, number 57, and with that time will run down. Final seconds of the, well, now 3 seconds on the clock, and the Jets have called a timeout.
Yeah, they want to make them. I think you should do this.
And Herman Edwards wants more time on the clock.
Please return to read 5 seconds.
Well, Herman wants 6. He'll probably settle for 5.
Well, what they want to do is Herman Edwards, and too many times coaches just let the first half run out. You know, make them snap it, make them do one more play. You just never know. Some crazy things happen always, and just keep giving yourself every opportunity, every chance to make a play.
Contrary to what you like to think, quarterbacks have been known to fumble the snap.
What do you mean what I think? You just don't like quarterbacks. You're just jealous. Good first half, though.
And it's about to end right where it began, dead even. Gannon gives to Garner, and Garner out to the 30. The Jets call a timeout, and they get it with 1 second to play.
Well, they got what they wanted, Greg. They want the Raiders to have to punt the football. Well, I shouldn't say that. They didn't get what they wanted.
Please return the game clock to read 2 seconds.
I don't think Bill Callahan is going to give them a chance to block a punt here.
You know, I figured that out. That's why I stopped in mid-sentence. Me of great football knowledge. Older football team, from the very first day of training camp, he has gauged his team and had practices and watched what they do to make sure they were rested late in the year and ready for the playoffs.
Garner on 4th down. Cuts it back and goes down at the 33. I like when we asked Bill Carroll, you know, what did you think about your first year? He goes, feels like my 10th.
Yeah, that's right. Just like a rookie for a head coach, that first year is long and tough.
Chad Pennington. Let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
Coach, pretty much what we expected. Tight, impressive, intense first half. What do you like to see in the second, particularly in regard with your passing game?
Oh, we got to get it cranked up. We got to start throwing the ball a little bit more in the second half and get a little bit more balance into our attack.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Up this stunning statistic. 25 offensive plays by the Raiders. They ran the ball 14 times. That's very un-Raider-like.
Well, I think they thought they were going to catch everybody by surprise and come out and run the football. Well, it's a good thought, but what it does, it takes your team out of rhythm. So Bill Callahan kind of hinted at it to Armin Katayan going into halftime. I expect the Raiders to throw the football a lot in the second half and get their MVP player, Rich Gannon, into the game and see if he can win it for them.
Meanwhile, we mentioned in the first quarter how out of sync Chad Pennington and the Jet offense looked. It seems they found their way in the second quarter.
Well, they made a couple first downs. They found their way. The offensive line started protecting. The play calling was very good, and Chad Pennington took advantage of almost every situation there in the second quarter to get the Jets back in the game.
Pennington in the first quarter was just 3 out of 7, was 11 of 14 in the second quarter. Raiders get the football first. Marcus Knight is deep for the kick, and we're underway. Knight at the 15. And gets a 15-yard return to the 30. We check in with Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Phil, just like you talked about, Herm Edwards said we've got to weather another storm here in the second half. Not surprisingly, he said it's going to go down to, he thinks, big plays and turnovers. They may have to do it without Wayne Corbett. He had some x-rays. They're negative, but Herm said they're iffy here in the second half. Greg, back to you.
All right, Armin, thank you. That puts emphasis on Lavernius Coles and Santana Moss here in the second half. Charlie Garner and John Ritchie in the backfield. And Gannon going to throw right off the bat. Over the middle. Finds his man. Jerry Porter. Porter to midfield and out of bounds. As you look at the offensive leaders for the Raiders from the first half, they're doing what you said exactly they have to do, and that's get the MVP going. Garner and Ritchie in the backfield as you look at Tim Brown, and now from midfield, Gannon to throw again. Tip, incomplete. Intended for Garner. Sam Cowart was there to defend.
The Raiders went with a no huddle there, Greg, trying to change the pace of this game and in a couple things, trying to get Rich Gannon more involved, get him in rhythm. And anytime you quicken the pace on offense, one of the things you can do if you can get some first downs, you can tire out the defensive line and give the quarterback more time to throw the ball down the field.
Jerry Rice with just 1 catch so far today. Gannon throwing to the near side. Doug Jolly, the tight end, at the 45. And Sam Garnes wrapped him up.
Well, that's something, too. The Jets are doing really well. You watch Sam Garnes, another defensive player that's had a special second half of the year. They are tackling the receivers when the opportunity is there. Sam Garnes says, you know, I struggled early in the year because I was trying to impress new teammates so much. I was trying to make that big hit, and I was getting in trouble. So he just settled down, make the plays that are presented to you. That's what you're supposed to do in a defense like the Jays.
Gannon throwing on 3rd and 4 over the middle. Jolly for a first down inside the 35-yard line. Raiders are without the services of Roland Williams, the tight end, and Doug Jolly taking on a few more snaps.
Well, Rich Gannon sees the zone defense. That means the defensive players are watching the quarterback, and they're not necessarily seeing the receivers when they come in around them.
And meanwhile, Josh Evans
nice.
Getting to Gannon just after he released the ball.
Well, I mean, nice. It's just a good hit by the defensive lineman, solid, and takes the quarterback to the ground.
From the 35. Gannon to throw again. Over the middle. That's complete inside the 30 to the 25 to Jerry Porter.
You know, I was listening, if you could hear it, the offensive linemen of the Raiders yelling. And we're talking to Lincoln Kennedy. His job is to watch the clock along with the quarterback. The center calls out the fronts. The other guard, Frank Milton, tells who's in the game. They all have a little job to do for each play.
On 2nd and 1, Garner with the first running play, and he's inside the 20. First down, Oakland. John Abraham with the stop, but everybody out there, you know, you'd like to think, or at least the average fan might think, that the Raiders are out there just listening to the signals, but everybody has a job to do.
Oh, yeah, you know, it was really interesting. Rich Gannon, he's focused on calling the play, but when you talk to Lincoln Kennedy, they have 4 distinct jobs that they do truly every single play. And Lincoln Kennedy says, I get down my stance and I look at that play clock and I get nervous about my quarterback. He's not seeing it.
On first down, Gannon throwing. That one tipped incomplete. Double coverage on Charlie Garner. And we have a jet on his back at the 14-yard line. That's Sam Cowart.
Well, we talked about in this game as let's watch Lincoln Kennedy 72 against John Abraham 94. Look at the size difference for one thing. And John Abraham usually plays the other side, but he comes over every once in a while to test it. Oh, look at the sweat coming off the big guy. Oh, man. John Abraham tried to surprise him and tried to overpower him. Usually he runs around.
Line after the collision with his teammate Marvin Jones, and what a collision it is.
Boy, almost every time we see a defensive player hit the ground today, it's because they're running into a teammate.
Number 51, James Darling, has replaced him on the field. 2nd and 10. Gannon flips it out to Garner. Garner to the 16. Aaron Beasley coming up from his cornerback spot. Well, Oakland has come out throwing the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, not a surprise. You know, you just got to put the football into the hands of the most valuable player in the league. And it was a good thought. Run it. But what that does sometimes when you run the football too much, it just takes away that innate feel that quarterbacks and receivers get about making plays.
3rd and 7. Gannon over the middle to Porter, and Porter dragged down at the 11-yard line, short of a first down by Ray Mickens.
Ray Mickens over the years has been one of the best substitute defensive backs in the NFL. Plays the toughest position, the inside receiver. Jerry Porter's big, fast, strong. He's everything. And Ray Mickens is a small guy, but runs with him and makes a good tackle over the middle.
Raider fans were yelling, go, go, go. And Coach Callahan turned to Sebastian Janikowski, his field goal kicker, and said, go, get out there.
You see, the Raider fans they didn't even have their heart into it because they knew 3rd and a long 2 or a short 2 is too much.
28-yard field goal attempt is away. And he looked like he missed it left. He did. That is a gimme in the NFL from 28 yards out. Janikowski missed it to the left. 10:34 to play in the 3rd. We're still tied at 10. Minutes in a world where artists come and go before you know it. Sheryl Crow is a rarity, on top for nearly a decade and on 60 Minutes tonight. So the Raiders miss an opportunity to grab a lead. We're still tied at 10. The Jets take over. No running room up the middle for Curtis Martin as we look at the offensive leaders for the Jets from the first half. Chad Pennington found his offensive momentum in the second quarter. Curtis Martin with 53 yards rushing, and Santana Moss with 23 yards receiving. It is Moss in the lineup. Corbett still sidelined. On the blitz, Pennington throws incomplete. Beck, the intended receiver.
Well, the football got tipped at the line of scrimmage. So Chad Pennington misses the open receiver. If you want to disrupt the quarterback, push the offensive lineman backwards. Nice job by Sam Adams. He stopped the run on first down, deflects a pass on second down.
Crowd coming to life. Trace Armstrong doesn't look like he'll be playing anymore today. Hamstring problem. 3rd and 10. Corbett back into the game. Pennington on a roll, and he overthrows him. So the Raider defense gets a 3-and-out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Greg. We've talked about it. They've thrown screens, run draws on 3rd down, trying to protect their quarterback and being smart against a good pass rushing team. And this time they moved the pocket to get him outside to help the receivers, but the Raiders were ready for the play.
Turk to kick. Arian Gordon deep. End over end. Inside the 45. And will roll to a stop at the 41-yard line. 9:37 to play in the third. Rich Gannon and the Oakland offense back on the field when we come back.
And Oakland has tied score 10-10 between the Jets and the Raiders. Greg, I was told at halftime there was a rumor going around the press room regarding the status of Rich Gannon's right hand, a possible injury or not. I checked with the Raiders official at halftime who would know, and he told me that Rich is fine, and in looking at him, I can't see a problem. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Gannon rolling and throwing, and Garner can't hold on. It's incomplete. Well, we did see Gannon rubbing his forearm a little bit, and you know that just may come from the normal ebb and flow of a football game.
Oh, he's okay. You know, I can watch quarterbacks and tell by the way the football comes off their hand how they're throwing it down the field, and there is nothing. If it is hurting, it is not affecting the way he's throwing the football.
Nice number so far for Gannon. 12 of 19 for 146 yards. 2nd and 10.
Some people read minds. I read bodies.
That pass is complete to Doug Jolly, and Jolly across the 45 to the 46-yard line. And Gannon getting the ball off in a hurry, which really cuts down on the chances that the Jet defense, people like John Abraham, can get to Gannon.
Yeah, well, it's hard to get to Rich Gannon, even if he holds the football a while, Greg. But John Abraham, we've been watching him all day. He's doing a good job. If I was him, I would stay to that offense's left. Even though Barry Sims is a good player, I'd take my chances against him before I would Lincoln Kennedy. 3 down linemen for the Jets. Once again, Gannon avoids the rush, pulls it down, throws to Rice. Rice to the 45, to the 43, and a first down. Well, every time the Jets, they're getting in that 3 down lineman. Look, Greg, Herm Edwards is smiling because he knows he caught him off guard. They're blitzing out of it, and they're bringing speed guys. Ray Mickens, 24, was on the blitz. He went for the fake. He jumped, and Rich Gannon steps up and makes a completion.
And Jerry Rice has moved off to the sidelines. You look at Ray Mickens. Rice limped off the field and makes his way to the bench. Gannon gives to Garner. Garner bounces off a tackler at the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. Howard is back into the game along with Sam Garnes at the stop.
Well, I tell you, Charlie Garner has got some serious shake.
As they work on Jerry Rice, let's revisit the catch and the hit on him. Head-on shot from Aaron Beasley. As they look at his right knee, 2nd and 4. shovel pass, and that goes to the 35 to Garner.
You know, you watch this game and you're at home and you're a fan, and what we talked about, the Raiders just look better when they throw it more. It's what they are. They really did so much of it during the year. You claim an identity and you just get used to playing a certain way. And now when they do sneak a run in there, it looks crisper because the defense is going, here comes another pass. So when it's a run, you're like, oh no, you got to readjust, rethink, and then try to stop a good running ball.
Short yardage situation on 3rd down, and Zach Crockett is in the backfield. And a penalty flag falls, and a false start against the Raiders is going to back them up. And number 66, Langston Walker, out there.
Yeah, the tight ends.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And Greg, I say tight ends because Langston Walker was in there as a tight end at time to help them in the short yardage blocking situations, but they jumped a couple times today. Doug Jolly, Langston Walker. Big guys are too anxious to hit a little guy.
3rd and 6 now.
And Langston Walker might be the biggest guy in the National Football League.
Jerry Rice back on the field, and he is flanked to the bottom of your screen. Gannon waiting all kinds of time, and throws incomplete. Intended for Garner, who went outside and came back across the middle.
Yeah, he did, but how good is that coverage? And you know what's happened? A few weeks ago, we did the game. The Miami Dolphins lined up and played a lot of coverage where, you know, the Raider receivers as a group are not especially fast. So they played them and just challenged them to get open. And the Jets today are doing it much more than they did on that Monday night game about 5 weeks ago.
Santana Moss has not had a chance to return a punt today. They've kicked it away from him and out of bounds on a regular basis. And Leckler going to try to hang this one up and get it down. Moss, fair catch called for and made at the 7-yard line. 6:19 to play after the 32-yard punt. Jets ball when we come back. Light rain has begun to fall here in Oakland as the Jets take over deep in their own territory with 6:19 to play in the 3rd quarter of a tie game. For the 6th consecutive time, the Jets start at their own 25 or worse. This is definitely worse. Curtis Martin straight ahead. Running room out to the 21-yard line and a 1st down.
You know, the one place that you would think the Raiders could stop, well, Sam Adams gets moved out of position. Coleman, 57, he gets blocked out of position. Just a good job by Dave Zott, Kevin Mawai inside along with Randy Thomas. That's 3 veteran, good offensive linemen.
Curtis Martin now 13 carries for 65 yards. He's going to get another chance here. Tries the right side, and not much there at all. Maybe to the 22 before Harris and Romanowski converge. 5.5 minutes to play in the 3rd. Curtis Martin on the season, 1,094 yards. 1,000-yard rushing season for the 8th straight year to start a career. Only Barry Sanders with 10 straight years has done better.
Curtis Martin can play through pain about as well as any player that I've come across in the league. He's been hurt a lot, still finds a way to get 1,000 yards.
2nd and 8. Pennington. Incomplete. Charles Woodson. And Santana Moss complaining to the official.
I know they're complaining. I couldn't see it because I was too busy looking at the runner because Chad Pennington completely faked me out with his ball action. Charles Woodson. Well, Santana Moss stops too, so that's a good no call by the officials.
Oh, wow, what a fake.
You know, that takes some guts too. It really does.
You and I have talked about that before. Quarterback, when he can turn his back on the defense. Play clock down to 3, 2. Pennington has to hurry, and he gets the snap off. Going to throw it deep down the sideline. It is intercepted. Did he pull it down inbounds? He did. Torrey James.
Well, I've done many games, and Greg, every week you complain to me why don't defensive backs look for the football? This time, Torrey James in excellent position, outside looking in. First off, Chad Pennington knows it's single coverage to the outside. He throws it where he wants to. Rod Coleman makes the hit on the quarterback, but Torrey James in excellent position to make the interception.
And what the Raiders have done is they've picked off a quarterback who just doesn't throw interceptions. Pennington came into this game with 1 pick in his last 216 passes. That's the second in 241, and the Raiders have gotten them both. Raider ball at the Jet 45. Gannon, far side of the field. That's complete to Tim Brown, out of bounds, just inside the 30-yard line.
Well, that was just a good call by the Oakland Raiders. They get the coverage they want. Tim Brown on the outside, one-on-one with Aaron Beasley, and he makes a beautiful throw.
4:40 to play in the third. First down, Raiders at the Jets 29. We are tied at 10. Gannon, pump fake, down the sideline. Touchdown, Jerry Porter.
What a job by Rich Gannon. Watch Gannon, he pumped to the right. You can't see it. Jerry Porter, it's a zone coverage. Rich Gannon's pump to the right keeps Damian Robinson in the middle of the field. He cannot get to the outside to make this play. Perfect throw by Gannon.
Janikowski for the extra point. And it's good. 4:24 to play in the third. Rich Gannon's touchdown pass has Oakland up 17-10.
Porter's going to go down the sideline. Watch Damian Robinson. He has half the field that he has to try to cover. He just can't quite get over there. Here's why he can't get there. Watch Rich Gannon. Pumps to the right. Oh, boy, is that a good job. Then he just reacts to what he sees down the field, Rich Gannon. So really, he put Damian Robinson in a position where he had no chance to succeed.
Another fine job by the offensive line, too. Low line drive kick from the 16-yard line, Lamont Jordan to the 30. And run out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line by Tim Johnson. This reminder, tonight on 60
are doing a really good job of keeping the return people from the Jets from making an impact on the game. Sometimes it gets lost.
Gannon, 115 yards passing this quarter. Pennington for Richie Anderson. And Anderson to about the 39-yard line. A pickup of 5, and it's 2nd and 5. This half, Pennington very much the opposite of the way he finished the first half. He finished on an offensive roll. This half, he's 0 for 4 throwing with an interception. Oakland, the dominant team here in the third. 2nd and 5. Pennington, oh, wide open. Santana Moss, did he pull it down? He did not. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, sometimes when a quarterback gets used to being pressured, he thinks it's going to happen the very next play, and Santana Moss goes down the field uncovered. The Raiders actually get picked on defense, and he is uncovered. Oh,
you know, that looked like a, oh, no, well, question of whether or not he had control, but the official ruled that he was out of bounds.
That's what I like about you. You're so decisive.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that was pretty close. Somebody up in the booth of the Jets is alert.
New York is challenging the call on the field, that being an incompletion. The play, the receiver did not have possession of the ball. prior to stepping out of bounds. New York is charged their first timeout.
See what happened? I'm sure this is what happened to the Jets coaches upstairs. Everybody was focusing so hard on the feet, and so were we, that we forgot to look at the football. So,
but again, the interesting part was that the call was made that he was out of bounds and not that he bobbled it on the way out. 3rd and 5. Pennington. Penalty markers fly. Rod Coleman got him. The Raiders sack leader with 11 on the year. The Jets say it's on Oakland.
well, look, every Jet
looks like a Jet team meeting.
Player. I can't wait to see this because I can't imagine what it is.
Illegal use of the hands. Defense, number 91. We were penalized from the spot of the foul as the dead ball spot was behind the line of scrimmage and the foul was behind the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Reagan Upshaw.
Boy, Rod Coleman again getting pressure. I didn't see it. Watch Reagan Upshaw.
Going against Dave Zott, the left tackle.
Oh, his hand, there it is. It gets to the face.
On the spot of the foul, as that spot was closer to the line of scrimmage. It is first down.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Dick Hantak working his final assignment.
Yeah, doing an excellent job, too. Good explanation.
And a first down for the Jets at their own 39. Play fake. Pennington on the move, shovels it forward. Midfield. Curtis Martin inside the Raider 45 and a first down. Nice reaction by Chad Pennington.
Oh, I'd say so. John Perella, number 97. Watch him come to Chad Pennington. And Pennington knows Curtis Martin is my outlet. He's underneath, uncovered, and gets the football to him.
John Perella had praise for Curtis Martin when we talked to him. He said, I like the way he runs. He's upright and he's not afraid to take a hit.
When you give an offense 3 extra plays, the percentage of times it leads to points is very high.
On the reverse, the double reverse. Here comes Santana Moss. Pennington in front of him. 40, 35. Lost the football. Football is loose, went out of bounds. And it did not appear to be possessed by the Raiders before it went out of bounds. Coach Callahan putting his 2 cents in.
Fumble on the play, forward out of bounds. We return it to the spot of the fumble.
So it is still Jets ball.
Double reverse. Look at I'll tell you what, this stuff is hard to do. Hard to handle the football that much like that going full speed. Is that Kevin Mawai leading where he sees the football on the ground? Oh, nice block. And then kicks it out of bounds, actually.
From the Oakland 35. Pennington throwing far side. All alone was Sowell, and he overthrew it. How many Raiders told us on Friday that the Jets would rather not physically take you on head on, but would rather trick you as much as they can throughout the game?
Well, yeah, and they do. They do some misdirections. We've seen the reverses, the screens. But, Greg, they've lined up many times today and have run the ball right at the Raiders and had wonderful success. So the Jets showing they can smack in the mouth when they need to.
3rd and 3. Jordan to the 29, maybe, but not enough for a first down. Eric Barton made the stop along with Romanowski.
I think you run the football there because you already predetermined you're in a position where you probably go for it. The field goal was too long. You're too close to punt. It's worth the gamble.
The ball is just inside the Raider 35. It'll be 4th and 3. Moss and Richie Anderson to the right. Play clock down to 4. Pennington throws far side, incomplete. Overthrew Corbett, who appeared to slip coming out of his break.
Well, he's not running it 100%. The Raiders have been getting confused when the Jets go in motion. Who has what receiver? That time they made a very good adjustment to it. And Wayne Corbett, even if he doesn't slip, I don't think is open. Terrence Shaw is going with him. They're trying to create some confusion. He slips. Look, you could see Terrence Shaw was going to go underneath him.
Chad Pennington, 1 for 8, throwing the football this half.
Well,
That's an eligible receiver.
okay, number 74 is an eligible receiver. Matt Stinchcom's coming in at tight end, but the Raiders on defense, Greg, are doing what they wanted to do. Pressure the receivers and make Chad Pennington stick in some tough throws.
Minute 20 to play in the 3rd. Garner goes in motion again. Pump fakes right, throws left, wide open inside the 40 is Jerry Porter. To the 20, to the 15, and a first down for the Raiders.
This was almost like the same principle that they ran when they got the touchdown. Rich Gannon looked right. It allowed Jerry Porter to run down the field in a seam. Watch the pump fake by Rich Gannon. It moves the defense. It creates a bigger hole. And look at Jerry Porter going up the field. Oh, boy, that is really well done by the Raiders coaches, but executed extremely well by Rich Gannon.
50-yard reception is the longest of the season for Porter, and now Garner to the 10. Sean Ellis and Mo Lewis with the stop. And we are in the final 25 seconds of the 3rd quarter. And the Raiders don't have to run another play if they don't want to, and they won't. So Gannon is going to take the walk to the sideline. His teammates and the Jets are going to change sides of the field.
The passing game definitely changed the tempo of the game for the Raiders.
We come to the end of the 3rd quarter. The Raiders lead at 17-10. We'll come back to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. Garner and Richie in the backfield as we start the 4th quarter on 2nd and 5. Garner to about the 9. Let's go back to that 50-yard gainer.
Yeah, let's go look at it because I think it's important. Here's Jerry Porter. The Raiders widen the defense. Rich Gannon pumps the safety off in the middle. He gets him standing in the middle. Look at him move just a little bit to the right. And look at the big throwing lane for Rich Gannon. And Greg, we know Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, they're what I call possession receivers. But when you talk about Jerry Porter, this is a wide receiver and a player that's going to be a star in this league. It's just a matter, is it going to be next year or 2 years?
3rd and 4.
He physically is terrific.
Gannon throwing end zone. Rice touchdown.
Well, the Raiders learned something the last time they played the Jets. They couldn't make the plays at this part of the field, and we saw them. All they practiced, watch Jerry Rice go to the back of the end zone. They practiced about 20 different looking plays throwing to the back line of the end zone because nobody backs all the way up to protect that area. That's why Jerry Rice was open.
The Raiders scored 2 touchdowns in just over 5 minutes. 14-15 to play in the 4th. The Raiders have jumped out to a 24-10 lead. As you see, that touchdown catch by Jerry Rice lifts him into a tie with Emmitt Smith and Thurman Thomas for the most postseason TDs. And this is definitely a different Oakland Raider team since they came out throwing the football in the 2nd half.
You know, just to go to Jerry Rice, you know, he doesn't have enough records, does he? Need a couple more. So
He needs to work on his game. Low bouncing ball picked up by Gerald Soule, and Soule returns it across the 40-yard line. 14-yard return in our NFL.com poll question. Which team do you think has the best shot at defeating the Titans? Log on, cast your vote at NFL.com. So Chad Pennington and the Jets, their work cut out for them. Still plenty of time. Yes. 14-11 to play here in the fourth, but they're down 24-10.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. They can still be patient, run it, do all the things they've been trying to do the whole game. No use panicking and just dropping back and throwing it every play.
Pennington, deep drop this time, throwing and hitting Corbett midfield. No, making Lavernius Coles rather, and Coles to the 46-yard line. 14 yards and a first down.
Well, let's go back and look at the touchdown real quick while we got a time. Here's why it works. Tim Brown takes the receiver out. Jerry Rice goes to the back of the end zone, and what's the back? Make the corner let Jerry Rice go.
Curtis Martin, and Martin hits hard at the 42. Anthony Dorsett coming up from his safety position to lay a little lumber on the Jet running back.
Well, Anthony Dorsett is big and he is fast, so if he gets solid contact, it's going to be a big hit. Oh boy, that is solid. Got his arms around the running back, wrapped him up and took him to the ground.
From the 42, 2nd and 6. Pennington has his man inside the 25-yard line, and Santana Moss ruled incomplete. Third and 6. That one appeared to be a well-thrown ball.
Yeah, it was perfect. To the inside, it's low. Protect the receiver. Torrey James is going to try and knock it out, but Santana Moss had already dropped it.
Sam Adams. Jets have dropped their share on Pennington today. Good protection on 3rd and 6, and that pass is inside the 30-yard line, and that's complete to Lavernius Coles for a first down.
You know what this is? Lavernius Coles he just makes himself big, even though he's not a big receiver. As he goes down the field, almost slips, but he makes sure his body is in front of the defender. Wow, what a catch. Nice job of holding on. Slipping, falling, make the catch, and don't let the defender strip it away from you.
Pennington going to throw. Corbett fighting Charles Woodson for position on the inside, and Corbett complaining to the official about the lack of a flag.
Charles Woodson is really being aggressive when he gets the opportunity. Well, that's what Wayne Corbett is complaining about. Charles Woodson did have a little contact down the field.
2nd and 10. Lost football on the ground. The Raiders say they have it. They do. Bill Romanowski. And Romanowski heads right for the black hole.
Oh, Richie Anderson, it's a good handoff. It looks like he's trying to switch the football. And Bill Romanowski recognizes the play, doesn't get blocked, and he's there to make the fumble recovery.
So the Raiders, with a 2-touchdown lead, take over at their own 31. The Jets have been guilty of just 7 turnovers in their past 11 games, but 5 of them have come against the Oakland Raiders. There you go. Gannon, pump fake. Now throwing. Intercepted. Damian Robinson. So Damian Robinson takes it right back for the Jets. And what an interception it was.
What a turnaround. What a catch. Rich Gannon. I don't know when I've seen him make a decision like this. He usually doesn't make these mistakes. The safety is over there. He does not see him, and Damian Robinson makes a terrific interception.
Robinson with an interception last week against Indianapolis comes up with 1. And you see Gannon with his first pick against the Jets in almost 140 attempts. So the second interception in as many weeks for Damian Robinson gives the ball right back to Pennington in the offense. Curtis Martin hit as he crossed midfield and is down at the Raider 48. Rod Woodson. Having fun?
Yeah, I am. I'm just watching. Listening to you talk. It's a wonderful atmosphere right now, though. It is.
Pennington with time. Throws sideline. It is picked off by Eric Barton. Turnovers in the past 47 seconds. The Raiders take over at their own 38-yard line off the Barton interception. Charlie Garner on the ground with room to run midfield to the Jet 46-yard line. Damian Robinson with the stop, and let's go back to Barton's interception.
Well, Eric Barton is out in coverage. All he does is react when he sees the football in the air. But Chad Pennington, you know, doesn't get too upset. Knows there's still a long way to go.
Pennington, 2 interceptions, and he's also lost 2 fumbles.
He saw Eric Barton. He just misjudged the talent of the defensive player.
Tyrone Wheatley, right side to the 42.
Well, Tyrone Wheatley, he hasn't run around a defender in a long time. He just gets in there and he's got one style. That's why they put him in there. Just to run it up in there hard and get some yards. Don't make any cuts. Don't try to avoid them.
2nd and 6.
You got big offensive linemen. Let's just push the pile forward.
2nd and 6 from the Jet 42. Wheatley still the deep back in the backfield. Takes the handoff. Right side to the 30, to the 25, the 20, and inside the Jet 20-yard line. I believe you said something about him running over people.
Yeah, I tell you, Tyrone Wheatley hasn't carried the ball a great deal this year. Look at the blocking up front. Mo Collins gets it. Oh, John Ritchie just gets a devastating block in the hole. And Tyrone Wheatley, he's fresh, he's big, he's strong. He is capable of running people over.
Just shoved Donnie Abraham out of the way on his way to the 18-yard line. Garner is back in the lineup. Garner with the handoff to the 17.
Boy, Mo Lewis almost raked that football out of there. It did come out, but the Raiders recovered it. Watch Mo Lewis. He's coming from the offense's right side to the right of the screen. Going to stick his arm in there.
2nd and 7 at the 15.
Oh, he knocked it completely out of Charlie Garner's hands, and it looks like Charlie Garner fell on it.
So a 3-yard gain when all is said and done. It's 2nd and 7. Wheatley back into the backfield. Wheatley with the handoff. tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Jason Ferguson.
You know, we talked about it earlier, Greg. The Raiders have all these running backs, and they all have a very distinct, defined role. Frank Middleton coming out. He's played some terrific game today, too.
Matt Stinchcomb has gone in as Middleton asked for a little relief and came limping off. As Oakland turned things around here in the second half, you bet. Charlie Garner in the backfield. The flip. That ball is almost intercepted.
You know, you show that stat, and all of a sudden the Raiders, their yards per rush go way up, and it's just a direct result because they threw the football more. I think they tired the Jet defense out somewhat, and they're running. It's like we said, it's catching them by surprise sometimes, and they're getting big gains because of it.
Sebastian Janikowski, who missed a 28-yard field goal, will now line this one up from about 34 yards out. Leckler will hold. On its way, and this one looks good. 7:55 to play in the fourth. The Raiders, in a bid to reach the AFC title game, up their lead. CBS Sports Line. Janikowski's line drive kick. Lamont Jordan shuffles it back to Chad Morton to the 20, 25, 30. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. 45 midfield and back to the 45 to the 44 of the Oakland Raiders. Now you know why they've been kicking away from Chad Morton all day long. So Chad Pennington comes back onto the field, and the Jets in this predicament partly because it's been a very un-Chad Pennington-like day, because turnovers have not been part of his game. He's fumbled twice, he's been intercepted twice, and he has been hurried an awful lot by the Raider defense.
Well, when you pressure a quarterback, they're never as accurate and they're never as smart. So he has been under pressure.
The Raider 44-yard line, the line of scrimmage. First time today, the Jets begin a drive in Oakland territory. Pennington flips it out here, incomplete. Really didn't look like he knew where he wanted to go with that one. Curtis Martin was the closest Jet to it, but he had company.
He had company. It was a screen play. Bill Romanowski read it properly when Kevin Mawai goes outside, following, because he leads the screens. Watch Romanowski. Just follow the offensive lineman. You can tell they're not protecting for the quarterback, and he disrupts the screen play.
2nd and 10. Pennington down at midfield. Reagan Upshaw, John Perella. Loss of 6 on the play.
Well, no more secrets right now. The Raiders know they must pass. Herman Edwards was worried that if they got in known passing situations, they could not contain the pass rushing. Nice move by Reagan Upshaw.
3rd and 16. Pennington throwing near sideline. It is caught by Santana Moss. And the official says not inbound.
I think the official is saying it hit the ground.
Pass rule incomplete. Ball hit the ground.
You know, Dick Hantak still moves around well. Watch the pass to the outside. It hits the ground. Santana Moss was upset, but the call was right.
So with 7:17 to play, the Jets in 4-down territory. Play clock winding down. They're going to use a timeout. Their second here in the second half. It leaves them with 1. 27-10. Raiders in the lead. Will play here in the fourth quarter. And Herman Edwards in the process of challenging that last ruling.
Let's look at it. Does Santana Moss have complete control of the football as it hits the ground? I say no, he does not. The rule has been changed a couple years ago where you can catch it And it used to be if it had touched the ground at all, it wouldn't count. But now if you have control and the football hits the ground, it would count. But the way I look at it, he did not have total control of the football.
The head linesman, Aaron Pointer, had an absolutely perfect view of the play. It unfolded right in front of him.
And I think the rule was changed, Greg, back, see if you can remember this, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the St. Louis Rams in the RCA Dome. Late in the game, there was a catch made, but as he caught it, even though he had possession, the ball hit the ground. Back then, that was ruled incomplete. They changed the rule where that would be a completion now, but Santana Moss did not have complete control.
Once again, Dick Hantag didn't take long to make his decision.
But the Jets,
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground and was moving prior to the receiver having possession. Ruling on the field stands. New York is charged their third and final timeout. They may not challenge for the remainder of the game.
So the Jets call the timeout, then issue the challenge, and now they're out of timeouts.
hey, you're 17 points down. It's fourth and it's long. It's a good call. You challenge. Hey, look, you hope for a miracle.
Fourth and 16. Pennington needs to reach the 34-yard line for a first down.
Challenge a call on the field, that being an incompletion. After reviewing the play stands as called as the ball hit the ground and was moving prior to the receiver gaining possession prior to going out of bounds. New York was charged their third and final timeout. They may not challenge instant replay the rest of the game.
That announcement, of course, meeting with great disapproval here in Oakland. So 4th and 16 for Pennington and the Jets. And the Oakland crowd on its feet. Pennington, throw, incomplete. The Raiders take over on downs. Well, it has been a valiant march to this point by Chad Pennington and the New York Jets, who started this season at 2-5, and from that point on, Herman Edwards says, boys, every game is a playoff game for us from now on.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. It's been a tough run for him. Look at Rich Gannon's stats, but you know, there's so many things to be said. The Jets, they can be proud. Herman Edwards, they're 2-5. He didn't change the way he coached his football team, and they responded really well to it.
Gannon throws this side. Jerry Rice out of bounds at the 35 of the Jets. That's a first down on a 15-yard pickup. And Rich Gannon showing every bit of why he's the league's MVP. Although we talked to him about that on Friday, he said, you know, Priest Holmes would have been my pick.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Rich Gannon was the most uncomfortable MVP winner I've ever seen at a press conference. He couldn't even look up at the cameras. He goes, well, you know, it's just that's just the way he is. It's not an act. He's a humble person. He's a hard worker. He goes unnoticed.
Garner to the 25, still on his feet before he's wrestled down at the 24.
He's a lot like his head coach, Bill Callahan. Just deflects the praise. You know, you can't say enough what he's done. John Gruden was like a legend here. Bill Callahan takes over, keeps it going, changes things a little bit with the players. Physically makes it easier for them. And they've really responded well to it. And we said it earlier, because he wanted them to be fresh and still playing well late in the year.
And they've made much of the fact that the Raiders are the oldest team in the league, and they appreciate that on a long stretch like this.
Sure they do.
On first down, this is Zach Crockett. And Crockett inside inside the 20 to about the 18.
You know, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Rich Gannon, though. His teammates, the admiration they have for him is, I can't even explain it. It's unbelievable. And one of the players said something that describes Rich Gannon really well. He says, let's just suppose we win the Super Bowl. We're all going to be in the locker room celebrating, and Rich Gannon's going to be over the corner mumbling to himself because he's going to be mad that he made a bad read during the game. And I just laughed. I go, that's perfect. That describes, hey, look, that describes why he's having so much success late in his career.
On second down, Garner inside the 15 to the 14, maybe the 13 and a half.
And one little thing, you know, you think about this game, Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets, he sold or said to the Raiders and to John Gruden, you should take a look at Rich Gannon, who was the backup quarterback at the time with the Kansas City Chiefs, where Paul Hackett came from. So it's Rich Gannon's different for the Raider way. They used to love it, throw it deep down the field. He picks you apart. And it's worked well.
Excuse me, Phil. Barrett Robbins limping off the field. The all everything for them at center, named to his first Pro Bowl.
Well, that's kind of unbelievable, too. This is first. I've been doing games with you for 5 years, what seems like 10. That's beside the point. But Barrett Robbins, we've done so many Raider games, and we've seen and we know that he is. We don't talk about some of these guys enough, but he is an excellent offensive lineman and a good leader at the center position.
So Adam True has replaced him in the lineup. 4:57 on the clock. The Raiders that far from a date here in Oakland against the Tennessee Titans 1 week from tonight. Whistle blows. And
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
gives us a chance to remind you tonight on 60 Minutes.
Well, it looks like we're going to be back here next week, Greg, and I'll tell you this. I'll bet you the Oakland Raiders come out throwing next week. They're not, you know, this is what they are. They're just, they've done it all year.
Barrett Robbins back in at center. Inside the 15 to the 12 is Charlie Garner. Pickup of 8, and it'll be 2nd and 7.
You know, if you're the Raiders, you throw the football and you luck into the running game. Just kind of let it happen. Let the running game be a byproduct because you're throwing it well.
I can't wait to come out here next week and ask Bill Callahan, say, now, do you feel like you luck into the running game?
Well, it's not it. Listen.
Of course, he'll know it by then because he will have heard all about this.
I don't think he's concerned with what I say up here.
Tyrone Wheatley and John Ritchie in the backfield. This is Wheatley. Tries the left side.
Come on. I want him to give the ball one time to John Ritchie. Give me a
John Ritchie has yet to carry the football this year. He has 10 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown on the regular season.
And he leads the league in blood coming from your head.
If he's not bleeding from the forehead, it means he hasn't had that tough a day.
That's right. Oh, his career, 14 rushes.
And one of the most amazing people to talk to, this big bruising running back.
Oh.
I know about every 2 minutes you lean over and go, what does that word mean?
Oh, you need a dictionary when you talk to him. It's incredible, his vocabulary.
Gannon with all kinds of time on the move and slides down at the 13 with Mo Lewis closing on him. 3 minutes to play in the fourth.
Dave Zile, the New York Jets. What a, you know, I remember the feeling. I don't want to, but how long the year is, all the work. You sit over on the bench on the sideline this time of the game and you realize it's over. As Herman Edwards said, I just want to practice football again next week. Well, they won't get to probably now.
Janikowski from 31 yards out. And a little pushing and shoving at the line of scrimmage before the players are separated. And Frank Middleton is right there. 2:42 to play here in the fourth, and the Oakland lead is 20. Well, as much as the Jet players were all jacked up about Frank Middleton's words, number 73 has come out just as hyped.
Yeah, 73 backed him up. I didn't see any cheap shots. You know, really, I thought both teams played clean and smart because you know what? All the talking that was going on in the papers, it made both coaches realize, hey, let's don't let this go on the field and get something cheap done where it could cost us the game.
Here's number 72, Lincoln Kennedy, the captain of the Phil Simms All-Iron team.
That's right.
As announced yesterday.
It's on yesterday. Lincoln won the Cadillac Escalade, and I don't know if that car is big enough for him, but
a more soft-spoken big man you will never see or hear.
Yep, he's an interesting guy, special person, tremendous player.
And Bill Callahan made the announcement to the team.
Yeah.
The winner and the head man of the Phil Simms All-Iron team and his teammates all stood around and gave him a round of applause.
Yeah, because one of them gets to drive it for a week. That's what he told us.
Gerald Soule at the 27 and brings it back across the 35. Still on his feet, refusing to go down. That'll lead to another scrum, I'm sure, as pushing and shoving breaks out. Chris Baker, Alvis Whitted. We remind you, by the way, you can log on to superbowl.com, get complete coverage of all of today's games. Take a look ahead to next week's action only at superbowl.com or on America Online. The keyword is superbowl.com. How's it going with your computer? How you doing?
I'm doing really well with it. You know I am. It's you hate it, don't you? The fact that I can log on.
Have yet to receive my first email.
No, I'm not doing an email thing.
You don't want to get into that typing thing, right?
No, well, no, it's not that.
Lincoln Kennedy, Mo Collins. I think they're talking to the Tennessee Titans.
I think it's two guys that can heat up the screen. That's what it looks like.
We get whistles on the field.
Timeout, Oakland.
And the Raiders have called a timeout and used their first here in the second half, stopping the clock with 2:31 to play for Herman Edwards.
Now you look at this game, Greg, and you know what really comes to my mind? The Raiders, and I said this during the week when I talked to some people and did some interviews, and when we talked, the Raiders are just old style. They're big, and they can wear on you, and they finally just look like they wore on the Jets on the defensive side. Their size, they can run, they can hit. They got big linebackers, big secondary people, and you know most NFL teams now have streamlined a little. The Jets are not an overly big team, and it just, you know, you're a New York Jet, you stand over there as a coach or player, and you go, you know, we got to take it up one more notch to compete against teams like the Oakland Raiders.
Well, you think maybe it'll put away a little of that silliness of this is just too old a team to go very far in the postseason.
Well, I think we've said that enough.
Pennington down at the 31-yard line, courtesy of Rod Coleman.
There's a reason why you're old in the NFL. That means you've been good and you are still productive to earn the money that you're going to get. So all the old players, per se, for the Raiders are still very productive on the field.
2:15 to play in the fourth quarter.
I'd hand it off.
Pennington got decked as he throws the incomplete pass.
As I said, I would hand it off. It's just too many hits on the quarterback. You're not going to win the football game. Chad Pennington's a competitor. He's going to hang in there. And Chris Cooper, oh.
Yeah, just open season.
That hurt.
It's the kind of day Chad Pennington has had. Intercepted twice, fumbled twice. He's 3 for 17 this half with 2 interceptions. This was a 10-10 game at halftime. Out here to Anthony Beck, and Beck looking for the sideline. He's going to get a clock stoppage right here anyway. 2 minutes to play, 1:58 to be exact. Oakland headed for the AFC Championship game. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, and Armin Katsayan back in Oakland. And Chad Pennington on a 4th and 10. At his own 37. Pennington throws complete to Santana Moss, midfield into Oakland territory and out of bounds at about the 46. So that'll be a first down. During the timeout, Herman Edwards talking to the guy who says he's his quarterback of the future. There is no question about it. It's his quarterback of the present and the future. And no matter what happens here, Herman Edwards will take an awful lot of positives away from this season and turn them into pluses, even more so at the start of next year.
That was interesting, wasn't it, to watch that? I know it was it's like a father talking to a son, teaching him one more lesson in life. So we'll toughen him up for the future.
Pennington throwing. That is, oh, what a hit. What a hit. They're going to throw a flag. Anthony Beck hit by Anthony Dorsett. I believe we can call this an Anthony to Anthony.
Anthony Beck going up the field. Anthony Dorsett, watch the hit.
Oh, that'll be under the defenseless player.
That's exactly right. Launching yourself up in there. It's tough for a deep. That is a tough position.
Personal foul. Defense. Unnecessary roughness. Number 33. We will penalize 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Reminder, tonight on 60 Minutes coming up, and then live, the People's Choice Awards here on CBS.
You know, Herman Edwards, go back to his relationship with Chad Pennington. They're 2 and I forgot they might have been 2 and 5 or whatever. They were coming back from Jacksonville, and they had just lost. And Herman Edwards was making a comment to somebody he knows. He goes, "Well, we lost, but the one good thing is we got us a quarterback." He could see it in Chad Pennington that day.
Going for the end zone. That is in the end zone, is incomplete. Terrence Shaw fighting Kevin Swain for the football.
Good job by Kevin Swain coming back, trying to make a play to avoid the interception by Terrence Shaw.
As you take a look at the play once again, let's move ahead a week and consider these Oakland Raiders going up against the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, I think it's a very good matchup in a lot of ways. I think Steve McNair will be up to the task to face this Raider defense. They've changed what they do. They are not just a predominantly running football team anymore, so it's going to be exciting.
Pennington throws this side, and that is complete to Swain and out of bounds. This is what we're talking about 1 week from tonight, 6:30 Eastern time. The AFC Championship game as the Tennessee Titans take on these Oakland Raiders.
Well, you know why Steve McNair is going to play well. He's back into his groove. He hurt his thumb yesterday, so he'll have trouble practicing and all that stuff. And
as you watch the Titans this year, the last thing that you want to do is hurt Steve McNair because he's just impossible to stop him.
Really something else.
Pennington looks for the end zone. That is incomplete. Terrence Shaw on Santana Moss.
You know what, though? It's a good little drive by the New York Jets. I was talking about, let's just get it over with and protect your quarterback, but he's hung in there. He's taken a couple big hits since I said that, but he's moved him down the field and trying to get a touchdown. And you know what? Get a touchdown. It will take a little sting off of it. Just makes you feel a little better. Fight to the end.
2nd and 10 from the 19. Quick pass. Santana Moss corralled at the 15. And Terrence Shaw, how active has he been here in the second half?
Well, the Raider defensive backs, that was one of the stories coming in. Are they healthy enough? Are they ready for the challenge? And I think that answer is yes.
Rich Gannon. Pennington looks the other way. Corner of the end zone. It's incomplete. Kevin Swain, the intended receiver, and Clarence Love's covering down deep. 54 seconds on the clock.
Real quick, the Raider defensive backs, Greg, Torrey James, Charles Woodson, they come back from injuries. They both played well. You would think they will even be healthier for next week's game.
Big Lincoln Kennedy. 4th and 4. Pennington for the end zone, incomplete, overthrows Moss, and the ball will go over to the Raiders on down. Well, consider that the Jets played last week, and every Raider that we talked to said that this bye week was oh so important to them.
Well, it came through, didn't it, in all the playoff games. All 4 teams who had the bye found a way to win their respective game. A couple of them, this one not that close, 30-10. The Eagles won fairly handily last night. Tampa Bay.
Chad Pennington congratulating and being congratulated by his teammates who thought the world of Vinny Testaverde and think the world of him.
There's Vinny Testaverde. Chad Pennington said he has been an incredible help to him this year. Says a lot about the character of Vinny Testaverde.
A special bond between those two, Chad Pennington and Lavernius Coles. Rich Gannon takes a knee. Dick Hantak in the final minute of his final game of his terrific officiating career.
Yeah, good for him. And no controversy for him, which is hard to avoid these days in a playoff game.
One more snap to the New York Jets season. And one more snap before the Raiders start to think about the Tennessee Titans. Last time the Raiders were in the AFC title game, they lost it to the Baltimore Ravens here in Oakland 2 years ago. They're going to want to change things around. Rich Gannon, terrific in victory. The league MVP showed exactly why as he came out in the second half. Oakland with 20 unanswered points rolling to victory. For Phil Simms.